Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, guys. Strap in, because what I'm about to tell you could be one of the biggest rumors. And I mean potential blockbuster moves that could shake up the NFC West and really put the Seahawks back in the spotlight. We've got whispers, sources, reports swirling around that the San Francisco 49ers might be considering a bold trade that could completely alter the division landscape. And it involves none other than Fred Warner, the perennial All-Pro linebacker, a guy who's been a cornerstone of that Niners defense since 2018. This isn't just some idle speculation. It's gaining momentum, and if it pans out, it could be one of those moves that fans will talk about for years to come. So how did this all start? Well, the 49ers are in a bit of a tricky spot. After starting the season hot, they've hit a rough patch, sitting at 3-8, and their defense, once their fortress, is leaking points, giving up an average of 27. 4 points per game. That's not what you'd expect from a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Plus, they're facing some long-term issues with injuries. Their cap space looks decent, around $16 million free, but with key players like Purdy on a pending deal, and the overall need to rebuild their offensive line, particularly with an eye on extending Ayuk, they're looking at making some tough decisions. And amid all this, the buzz is that they might be willing to part ways with Fred Warner, a guy who's not just a leader but an absolute game changer. Warner, drafted in 2018, has developed into one of the league's top linebackers, known for his coverage skills, sideline-to-sideline speed, and ability to make plays all over the field. Over his career, he's amassed 597 solo tackles, 313 assists, 12 sacks, 13 interceptions, including 1 pick-six and numerous forced fumbles and pass breakups. He's been PFF rated around 90. 5 with a coverage grade of 91. 2, which is elite. Even this season, despite some injury setbacks, he's still making his presence felt with 28 solo tackles, 23 assists, and 2 forced fumbles in just 6 games. That's where it gets really interesting for Seahawks fans. The speculation is that the 49ers, who are perhaps feeling the pressure to rebuild and retool, are considering trading Warner to Seattle in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026. That's a massive haul, especially for a linebacker of Warner's caliber. The Seahawks, who have been searching for that versatile, playmaking linebacker to complement their secondary and improve their run defense, could see this as a perfect upgrade. Think about it. Warner stepping into the middle, boosting their coverage, making more plays on third down, and essentially transforming their linebacker core into a true strength. Now, let's dive into what this move could mean for the Seahawks. For starters, Warner's presence immediately elevates their secondary. With Diggs already providing a spark as a ball hawk, adding Warner's ability to cover tight ends and run sideline to sideline would be a game changer. It's like plugging a leak that's been holding back the defense. The Seahawks could see a significant uptick in their interception totals, possibly jumping from 12 to 27 or even higher, with Warner's knack for reading plays and making those critical stops. His impact on pass coverage, especially on third down, could be the difference between giving up a field goal or forcing a turnover and getting that crucial stop. From a statistical standpoint, Warner's presence would improve the Seahawks' overall defensive efficiency. His run-stop percentage of around 35% shows he's a reliable force against the run, and his ability to make plays behind the line of scrimmage adds another layer of complexity for offenses trying to establish their ground game. His knack for creating turnovers, his 13 interceptions, and a history of forced fumbles could give Seattle the edge they need in close games, especially in the postseason. Imagine a Seahawks defense with Warner patrolling the middle, Diggs roaming the secondary, and the rest of the unit flying around making plays. That's a defense that can keep the Seahawks in every game and give their offense the room it needs to operate confidently. And speaking of the offense, having Warner on the field could also help take some pressure off the secondary, allowing more aggressive coverage schemes. Plus, with the Seahawks already boasting a solid pass rush led by their defensive line, Warner's ability to read plays and disrupt them before they develop would be the cherry on top. It's a recipe for a defense that's not just good but dominant, especially when it counts most in the playoffs. Now, let's talk about the potential impact on the division. The 49ers are already a tough team, but losing Warner could weaken their linebacker core significantly. They might be forced to rely more on less experienced players or step up their rebuild efforts on the offensive line, which, according to some reports, they're prioritizing anyway with a focus on extending Ayuk. For the Seahawks, grabbing Warner would be like catching a rare fish that completely shifts the balance of power. Seattle's defense, which has been solid but sometimes inconsistent, could become one of the league's most formidable units with a player like Warner anchoring the middle. And it's not just about this season. The long-term implications are huge. Warner, just 28 years old, still has several peak years ahead of him. If the Seahawks can secure him now, they're investing in a player who can be the centerpiece of their defense for the next 5 years or more. That's the kind of move that could set the tone for a new era of Seahawks dominance in the NFC West. Imagine a Seahawks team with a revamped defense, led by Warner, creating turnovers, stopping the run, and forcing offenses into uncomfortable situations. That's a recipe for playoff success, and who knows, a deep Super Bowl run. Of course, all of this is still in the realm of rumors and speculation. The 49ers could decide to hold on to Warner, especially if they believe they can turn things around this season. But the fact that this is even being discussed means the Seahawks need to be paying attention. The NFL is a league of moves, and sometimes a single trade can alter the course of a franchise's destiny. The Seahawks have been building steadily this season, showing flashes of their potential, and acquiring a player like Warner could be the missing piece to elevate them into serious title contenders. Now, for the fans, it's about dreaming big but also keeping a realistic eye on the process. The Seahawks are not just competing this year, they're laying the groundwork for sustained success. Adding Warner would send a message to the rest of the league that Seattle is serious about competing at the highest level, that they're willing to make bold moves to secure their future. It's a move that could energize the fan base, ignite the locker room, and set the Seahawks up for a run that could culminate in another Super Bowl appearance. And of course, it's worth mentioning that the Seahawks are no strangers to making bold moves in the offseason. Remember when they went all in to acquire players like Diggs and Akers? Those moves paid off by giving the team more firepower and versatility. Warner, as a linebacker, is the kind of player who can tip the scales in close games, and having him on the roster could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. It's all about building a roster that's not just good enough but elite enough to compete with the best in the league. So whether this trade happens or not, it's clear that the Seahawks are in a position to make serious waves in the NFC West. The division is competitive, with the 49ers, Rams, and Cardinals all trying to find their footing. But Seattle has the talent, the coaching, and now possibly the opportunity to make a statement. Warner's potential arrival could be that statement, a signal that the Seahawks are not just here to compete but to dominate. And if they do land him, fans can start dreaming about that elusive Super Bowl trophy once again, knowing they've got a defense that's ready to take on the league's best. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So guys, what do you think? Is this a move that could actually happen? Would you be excited if the Seahawks managed to pull off a trade for Fred Warner? I know I would. This kind of move isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about changing the entire trajectory of the franchise. Warner's a proven leader, a playmaker, and a guy who could be the heartbeat of a Seahawks defense that's already on the rise. With him in purple and green, the Seahawks could be looking at a whole new level of competitiveness, one that might finally bring us that long-awaited Super Bowl trophy. That's the kind of move that can energize a fan base, inspire the team, and send shockwaves through the NFC West. And remember, in the NFL, the offseason is where champions are built. Seattle has shown they're not afraid to make bold decisions, and if the rumors are true, this could be one of the most exciting and game-changing moves in recent Seahawks history. Keep your eyes peeled, stay loud, and let's hope that the front office is just as ambitious as we are. Because if they pull this off, the future of Seahawks football looks brighter than ever. We're on the cusp of something special, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. So stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news.